It's not a surprise to hear my fellow critics spit on the image Marvel presents these days, and righteously so do I. After a decently hyped trailer released 5 months ago, the theater seemed empty for this one, almost as if people were completely giving up on Marvel because they started finding it boring to watch. Well, more boring. Marvel is filled with the same agendas of wokeism, getting none metaphorically at this point, aggressively shoved down the viewers' throats. And you may wonder, oh dear smoker, how do they make up to the agenda with originality and additional new traits to the plot of the movie? To that, my lovely loyal fan, I say, no, they really fucking don't. It's an issue commonly occurring in all Marvel related content recently. Cliches and jokes, written a decade ago now, modernized and copied to adjust to political ideologies, with nothing new being created by the writers who recently took the legends behind MCU's places. It's sad to see big names and franchises like Guardians of the Galaxy fall, but to its best form I can at least say Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is a movie with a lot of potential, sadly none of it achieved. Character-wise, that is, of course. Since realistically, we are all fed up with the unoriginal CGI copy and paste the Galaxy themes are nowadays. Before I get back to the potential of the characters, and some I really liked and some I extremely disliked, I'll simplify this very dragged and boring plot that the movie mostly was into a short synopsis. We are introduced back to the team, now being in some weird space city. Peter is drinking the Galaxy alcohol, very original, because he's sad that the Gamora in his reality died. The city then gets attacked by the biggest Homelander ripoff I've ever seen, whose whole personality was a cocky, stupid, blonde-haired Caucasian. His mission was to kill Rocket Raccoon, in which he fails and then is led to his boss becoming mad, deciding he will take the matter to his own hands. The boss, by the way, is some Kang ripoff Class D in Marvel, who I've never heard of. We found out that Rocket Raccoon was an experiment to this high evolutionary. So the Guardians of the Galaxy now end up teaming up with Nebula and Gamora to save Raccoon or something like that. Because he's in a coma, so Marvel doesn't waste so much money on CGI. Without spoiling the rest, which there's really nothing to spoil, it's the most predictable Marvel film I've seen in a while. It was clear the writers had no clue to what they're doing and are just milking out the last drops this company has to offer. The plot was too predictable, with nothing new bringing to the table for the franchise or the Guardians teams themselves. Plot had no consistent pace and motives for the villains. The whole script was forced in favor of comedy and filled with cliches and unoriginal schemes or even the jokes. In terms of comedy, Drax was the only one who naturally floated with it and brought in a few laughs now and then. Now, in terms of potential, a lot of new characters were introduced and barely any had potential besides being unimaginably boring and having a personality equaling to a stormtrooper. One in particular I found outstanding in a potential was Warlock. You see, nowadays everyone has an evil Superman carrying their show, whether it's our boy Homelander and Omni-Man. And obviously Marvel had to hop on the ride of OP Sigma superhuman trend. But how do you create a Sigma when you're woke? I genuinely think the actor did a decent job in executing the role to its potential, physically at least. Because verbally, oh boy, imagine if Stephen Hawking got out of his chair and started talking. That was the personality and dialogue of this guy. Other OG actors in this franchise like Chris Pratt did their job and clearly came for the paycheck, as there was absolutely zero emotion expressed from any of them. Don't worry though, Drax is still a Chad. Overall, this movie is already a step ahead of the failing line Marvel made, a victim of the fallen empire Disney has become. It was their last card to play to try to save it, and even though it was decent, the aura of Marvel's failure is dragging it to the bottom, to the point that even if it was a masterpiece it couldn't save the disaster Marvel has become. Alright, bugger off now.